The SA Auto Week is coming to an end here in Gqeberha, which started on Wednesday. A number of discussions took place during those sessions, which included increasing production sales, which will lead to job opportunities in the Eastern Cape and also across the country. But the talking point has been the transition moving from the combustion engines and to electrical vehicles to reach that 2030 target that has been set by the European Union. As you know, that the Eastern Cape province contributes just slightly over 44% of the country's vehicles production. But next to me, I do have the newly elected president of NAAMSA, Mr. Billy Tom, that took over the reins yesterday during that annual general meeting. Sir, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on your election. Just briefly talk about what will be some of your priorities as the new president of NAAMSA.
Thanks a lot, Mcebisi. I think having the opportunity to lead NAAMSA is something that I'm very proud of. To take you back, NAAMSA was formed in 1935. So it's an organization that has been in existence for 88 years. This is an organization that was initially made up of the OEMs, but today we've moved on. We have the OEMs, which are 7 in the country. We also have the importers that play a very key role. We also have heavy-duty manufacturers. We now also have associates. Like you see today, ABSA is one of the associates. To me, what excites me is that NAAMSA is that single automotive voice for the country. We get together, when we get together as NAAMSA members, our interest is the automotive. Outside of NAAMSA we compete, but when we are with NAAMSA, we become one. And the importance for us is South Africa plays a key role in the automotive business for the country. We create employment. We're probably about 5% of the country's GDP. That's significant. But also in the continent, we contribute to about 53% of vehicles manufactured in the continent. So my excitement is about taking NAAMSA forward. I'm inheriting 88 years of history, and I need to make it a point that for the next 2 years we get to 90%. What is also of significance, I'm taking over as the discussions around the transition is taking place. We've seen a lot of countries in Europe have already put in place legislation that says by this year we're doing away with ICE engines. And where there is concerns is we've been delaying legislating new energy vehicles. We don't create certainty. The challenge that creates is decisions for our plants are not made locally. Decisions are made overseas. And you must remember, Mcebisi, we fight for $1 globally. And if a decision is made and we miss the opportunity, we're going to regret. And to us, that's a concern that we've been taking long to make decision. Because once we make decision, you create a policy certainty, then I can go to my head office and say, this is the policy situation, this is a legislation situation, and then we can get that investment. So I'm hoping we can speed it up so that there is certainty for all the OEMs.
Let's briefly just talk about this gathering, the SA Auto Week that is hosted here in Nelson Mandela Bay this year for, I think, for the first time. What are some of the aims of this gathering?
So, end of last year, we decided that we're going to focus on 4 areas. And what we'll do every quarter, we'll have the thought leadership roundtables. So today we are having a thought leadership roundtable around just energy transition, because we're going to talk about the energy transition, because as you know, we're having energy supplies in the country. The first one was on new energy vehicles. The second one was around transformation, but not only for legislation, but because it's the right thing to do. The last one is going to be in December, which will be held in Tekwini, which will be around logistics and transport, because it's also another challenging area. So those are 4 areas we said we're going to focus on this year. And then in October, we're going to have the National SA Auto Week. So this is a build-up to the SA Auto Week. And I must remind you, I think what has made this one very special, the automotive industry was started in this town, in Gqeberha. When the first industries were built up, it was done here, and it's been very great coming back to home, because this is a home of the automotive industry. Although some of the OEMs are headquartered in Gauteng, but this is home, and it was great coming back home and having the AGM at home. We had the AGM yesterday, and today we're having the Thought Leadership Roundtable.
What are some of the challenges? Because I remember the CEO also mentioned yesterday, talking about the issues when it comes to transportation in the automotive industry. What are some of the challenges when it comes to transportation, moving from inland and then now you're going to ships to coastal?
The logistics, we all know the challenges Transnet has been having, and for us it's been the ability to move vehicles from inland to the coast for export, taking vehicles from the coast to inland, and we had to use other means. In the past we used to use rail as a means of transport, where we railed the vehicles inland. Today we don't, and we're still talking to Transnet, because our feeling is we need them to be able to give us a necessary service, because it's the right thing to do, because you already have that facility. But also it takes away a lot of traffic on the road, because road congestion is a challenge. And this afternoon we will be paying a visit to both ports here in Gqeberha. We'll be visiting the port of Gqeberha and the port of PE, where Transnet will be hosting us, and that's part of working with Transnet. We don't want to sit and grandstand and criticize them, but it's to work with them as well, to find solutions together with them, because they're an important partner. Because remember, a lot of us get our SKDs via the ports and the harbors, and we have to work with them. We've got to find solutions together, because we need each other.
So thank you for your time. That was the newly elected CEO of NAAMSA and also the CEO of Isuzu Africa, just talking about this automotive week that has been hosted here in Gqeberha. I know this is the last session here today, which will mainly focus, we will focus on energy. That will be top of discussion.